I'm just reading out the case. Oh, sorry, I won't do it. You all can read it. Mr. X has a distinguished academic career and excels in sports and other extracurricular activities. That one. Whenever anyone is ready, you can start the discussion.
Um, so I think I'll start the discussion. Uh, we are given that Mr. X is a very distinguished academic, has a very distinguished academic record, and he also has a very good salesman record. Though he is not very cordial, and he has very indifferent suggestions when compared to his superiors and subordinates. And the company wants to wants to hire a new appoint a new regional sales manager to improve the performance, and if Mr. X makes a good fit or not. So I think on the face of it that Mr. X has consistently delivered results, and that he has been a star salesperson who has always crossed targets. This shows that he has very good market understanding and execution capability. Also, since the region in question is currently loss making, and that the immediate priority of the company might be the turnaround of this thing and making and not a long term cultural perfection in the immediate vicinity. I think that in this situation, since that the individual contribution of Mr. X has been very significant, I think that he could be hired for this role, and his issues, interpersonal issues, which are a concern, can be addressed through proper leadership coaching, maybe, or setting up structured KPIs for him in order to make sure that he performs on he performs like he's supposed to, and that he also is able to sort out his issues.
Okay, I would
I
this discussion. So, we have already established the fact that Mr. X is a skilled salesman and he understands the market. He is a star performer and he will also deliver results. It is, I think, if we make him, if we appoint him the leader of the loss making region might be able to improve and the targets will be delivered. What we can do is provide HR training and behavioral targets that can be set for Mr. X, because investment in Mr. X as a high performing employee are bound to give returns since he has already shown so. Setting KPIs for him may not be the best option since he will deliver on it, but there will be behavioral issues with subordinates or superiors. Secondly, I think HR training programs and HR sessions that not do not particularly target him and are given in general to the employees of the company of ABC will be helpful and will lead to his overall development and lead to career growth, as well as help him become a good sales manager of the loss making region.
I disagree with Manya because the question is whether to select him as a sales manager. So we have to look at what the managerial roles that are included in this. A manager needs to be a motivator so that he can lead his team. He has to, he has to have the spirit to accept feedbacks, and he should be able to build trust among the employees he is working with. So since we are already said that Mr. X doesn't have good relationships with his um, colleagues, and he also does not listen from suggestions from his superior and subordinates, so he cannot be a motivator, because and he thinks that he is the best, so he cannot be a motivator. And since he does not listen to anybody, be it his superiors or subordinates, he is not accepting feedbacks, so he cannot that point also does not match, and thereby he is not all being able to build trust among his employees, so I don't think he's a good fit. And talking about that, he is a very good employee. He does good work, but he is being appointed for a sales manager position, and his this doesn't is it is not an individual work, so he has to work with a whole team. If the team is not happy with their leader, the team will not perform well, so it will remain a loss making region only.
Thank you, Koshani, for your input. Okay, I understand what you're trying to say, but But the thing is that as a salesman, he's already accomplished. His behavior might be a problem. It is not exactly motivator or not. For the till whatever is written about him being conceited and not listening to suggestions could be improved by HR training. What we could do is, if at the end of these HR training sessions and different leadership sessions, he's still not able to go get along with his colleagues, we might not consider him to become the new sales manager, but we can make that decision after doing some sort of after taking some steps to maybe improve his behavior, since he is an asset to the company and he has already proven his place in the company by achieving those targets and going above and beyond to achieve them.
I agree with Manya. I also would like to add the point that probably giving him a proper managerial role might probably give him the sense of responsibility and probably might make him understand that his attitude of not listening to his seniors or colleagues might need to be mended, and that he might get a sense of responsibility towards his team and start working on itself. As we all know that while we work for some institution, it's not just the institution's growth we see, we also see our personal growth. And in that way probably Mr. X could develop himself along with providing in his inputs and making sure that his company succeed, his institution succeeds in converting the loss making region into a profit making region, and also in the process develop himself and solve his problem of being conceited and not being very interactive with other people. This
If the
way, this is a
decision
win-win for both Mr. X and the institution itself. Also, probably the HR program, which was mentioned by Manya, could also help in this process, and that could also lead to development of the institution and Mr. X.
if
I would
the
like to
decision is made after the HR training, then it can then he can be hired in that position if he is capable. So I agree with that.
I think after hearing all the perspectives, I feel if we look at it from two different perspectives, from the profitability perspective, I think it makes sense because a loss-making region will need immediate concentration of someone, and because of his records, I think we will need him to improve that. But again, if we look at it from an HR perspective, his interpersonal skills can demotivate the team. So for the time being, I think the combination of giving him to complete the targets as well as um, training him for interpersonal skills will be the best one.
I agree with you. Also, since the question of profitability is also included, we don't know if the company is in a position to provide the appropriate HR training to the person, or even if he would be able to acquire or develop the leadership skills after the training. So, since he's an asset to the company, he might be given the project, or like he might be included in the task as he's a great salesman. But we can also include someone else as a manager to what do I say? To handle the managerial tasks, especially.
Anybody has anything to add? Okay, Kaushani, please summarize the discussion. Manya, please summarize.
Yes, sir. So the discussion was on a well-performing salesman, Mr. X, in a company ABC. Now it is given that Mr. X was not very friendly with his colleagues. He was not very cordial, and but he was a star performer. He used to cross targets, and the company was in a dilemma. There was a need for a new sales manager in a loss making region, and the company was deliberating if they should hire Mr. X or not. Now, the discussion kicked off with how Mr. X would be a good fit for the region, because he is a good performer, and some KPIs, some targets can be set for him to measure if he is behaving better in terms of interpersonal relationships, and ultimately that he could be a good manager because he has always met targets. Then the discussion moved to how HR training sessions and leadership programs could be provided to help Mr. X become cordial with his colleagues, and which would lead to him overall being a good manager because he would meet targets, and he would also be friendly, and he would also motivate people. Then a new perspective was introduced
Okay,
about how he would
okay,
not be a good.
okay. Shreya, please summarize.
Yes, sir. So we had the discussion on whether Mr. X should be given the role of a regional manager in a loss-making region. So seeing his profile, he's a great salesman, but his leadership skills are not at par to give him the position of a manager. However, we also discussed that if given proper HR training, he could be uh, able to overcome his disadvantages and given the role of an HR of given the role of a regional manager. Uh, so yes, sir, that's the thing.
Asmita?
So our discussion today was if Mr. X should be appointed as the regional sales manager or not. There were many perspectives included. First being that because he has a good record in his career and is because considering it is a loss-making region, without considering his interpersonal skills, promoting him was a good idea. But then there were other perspectives of how a sales manager is not a job of one and it's a job of team where we would need his people skills and leadership skills which he lacks. So therefore the HR support training was included. Also there was a perspective that if he was trained before promoting, there were ideas of him already being promoted while doing the training, and we also looked at ideas which said that he before promotion his training is required. His training is required. So overall, that was the discussion we had today.
Okay, fine. I think you all had a decent discussion. See, there are some very good salespeople, like Mr. X, who are very good individually, but they may not be able to work in a team. They would probably be little indisciplined as far as the corporate culture is concerned. But since they meet their targets or overshoot the targets, so people are reluctant to sort of fire them or berate them or anything like that. Now, in an Indian context, a regional manager would be looking after 3 or 4 states. So, a lot of people working under them. So, they need to be methodical. They need to be impartial. They need to set processes so that people don't feel that they are favoring somebody over somebody else, and a lot of those things are involved. So, like you all said, that he may be able to push the sales, but then the culture of the company might suffer in terms of discipline and other things. And the other outcome could be that because he is not a people oriented person, so there may be a lot of demotivation in the teams. People may start leaving the organization because he's too aggressive, too conceited, doesn't listen to people. So all those things are there. So for a regional manager's role, probably he needs to be given some leadership role, probably a little less, or sort of assistant regional manager with a 6 month time frame to prove that he can be a good administrator also as well as a good salesman. So something like that could be probably worked out, and whatever you all said is fine. There is no issue with that. Any questions on this?
I have
So
one
I
question.
had just a general question that
Hmm.
if in a GD we see that almost all points are covered, and if we cannot come up with it, is it fine to just, summarize the topic?
No, you will say the same thing with some different examples if possible. You
Okay,
will
understood.
find over a period of time that in any discussion there are only 3 4 points for and 3 4 points against the discussion. So no need to bring in
Yes.
some very minor point as a fifth point, but you can give examples to strengthen the points that have already been said.
Okay, understood.
And Vidhi, I didn't ask you to summarize this time because if you keep quiet, don't expect that the person or the observer will ask you to summarize. If you see you haven't spoken, you have not been asked to summarize. So what happens is you will get a zero in a GD, which can be very detrimental to your admission. So you will have to speak. Okay.
I have one question.
Hmm.
In both the GPs, we've started off with saying basically summarizing the question and going ahead with it. Are we supposed to do that, or should we just start off the discussion, just kickstart it?
No, it's okay. A little bit of summary of what we are discussing is fine, not a problem. But
Okay,
don't,
okay.
if it is a bigger case, then don't just go on explaining the case because by the time you reach somewhere in the middle, somebody will start with some point. So you would have lost
Mm-hmm.
that initial starter advantage.
Okay, okay.
Any other question regarding this particular GD or any other GD? This is more of a case, not a GD. Okay, fine. So is anybody open to give an interview today? Yes? Manya, you can give one interview today?
I have a meet at 7. I thought the class would get over by then. I'm not sure if I can give it right now.
What about Shreya?
So, could I please give tomorrow? I'm preparing a bit on current affairs.
Okay, fine. ठीक है. Then we'll meet again tomorrow. What time?